Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Elaine Buchanan. Welcome to our 8th and final week together in entering the biblical narrative. It has been such a wild and crazy and fun ride so far. And this week is kind of going to be the culminating point of all of that for us. So today what I want to do is to talk about some of the technicalities first for your summative project. And then I also want to talk a little bit about the content of what needs to be in the summative project. So let me go ahead. And you're going to see some paper shuffling. That's because there's a lot going on here, just like I'm sure there's a lot going on for you as well. So one of the first things to keep in mind is the word count. So, and you're going to see my eyes shifting, and that's again because I have stuff everywhere today. It's just the way it is at the end of the semester. So, so for this summative project, there it is. It needs to be 3,000 to 3,500 words in length, and the word count does not include the title page. It does not include the footnotes or the bibliography. It is just simply the content itself. Also, please remember that 10 academic resources need to be used for this particular paper. Okay, and they need to be academic, peer-reviewed resources. We have used significantly more than 10 in our class, so that shouldn't be an issue for you to find those 10 resources. They do need to be included in the bibliography, and all of those resources need to be footnoted at least once within the paper itself. Speaking of footnotes, I do want to take just a minute to talk about that as well. For the second ALAs that we've done from week 1 through week 7, on average, there needed to be between 15 and 20 footnotes for those ALAs. So we're really, and that's why I focused so much on summarizing and interacting, because that's really important to be able to do, and we're going to need to be able to do a lot of that with our summative project. So you'll probably need somewhere between, I would say, 40 and 60 footnotes for this summative project. Okay, so again, that's a lot of summarizing and footnoting and interacting. And if you have questions about how to do that, go back and take a look at our week 3 announcement. And there's a paragraph in there that I talk through that shows you how to footnote. And incidentally, that is also my perspective in there too. So you don't necessarily need to use first and second person pronouns. You can still say and present your perspective. It's just in the way that you write. And I know all of us have been working on that quite a bit in our time together, and all of us have come a long ways with that. And so this summative project is really going to be an opportunity to show that you can summarize literally hundreds of pages and footnote and interact with that. Okay, so this is something that I know for some of you, you've been practicing this for a while. So it is becoming second nature for you. And for others, this is the first class where you've really had to try to do something like this. And so I know that this is the beginning of the journey for you to be able to do that. And this is going to be an opportunity to showcase all that you've learned as far as how to summarize and interact with what has been written. So again, at least 10 academic resources and 40 to 60 footnotes. And again, focus on summarizing, not on direct quotation. As far as direct quotations are concerned, up to 15% of your paper can be direct quotation. So that is 3 lines per page maximum. Okay. So again, going back to summarizing and interacting, that is probably, it's not probably, it is the best route to go. I believe, yes, so 3,000 to 3,500 words, so there's a little bit of wiggle room in there, and all of that kind of good stuff. All right, so now I want to talk about what is actually in the summative project. And so big picture wise, essentially what we're doing is we are going back through everything that we've done in this class from day 1 all the way through the end of week 7, and we are assessing. We're assessing what we've done and what we've read. So this is what you're going to need to do for your summative project. If you look at the under the assignment instructions, number 1, first analyze the different theories concerning the identification of the meta-narrative of the Bible. That's the very first thing. That can be found in our week 1 material. Okay, so everything that you read, our discussion board, ALA 1 and ALA 2, that part can be answered with all of that from week 1. Then the second part of that is this: explain why it is necessary and what purposes it may serve. Okay. So first you'll need to analyze, which means more than just stating what they are. It means actually analyzing them, assessing them, and then explain why it's necessary and the purposes that it may serve. Okay. So again, the material from week 1 should be enough to address this first part of the assignment. Okay, second, critique the 2 major theories that were used by the textbooks in the course and identify both their weaknesses and their strengths. This is weeks 2 through 7, our ALAs 1 and 2, our discussion boards, all of that. Okay, so these are the 2 major theories. So that is the Goheen and Bartholomew text, or Bartholomew and Goheen text, and then also the Wright text. So those are 2 different theories, 2 different approaches. That is what we're taking a look at with this second question. Incidentally, with almost all of the second ALAs, there has been some aspect of analysis, of critiquing, and that's what you're going to need to do for this summative project. So critique the 2 major theories that were used by the textbooks in the course and identify both their weaknesses and their strengths. So go back through all of your material from weeks 2 through 7, take a look at it, analyze it, critique it. What are the weaknesses? What are the strengths? That's what we're taking a look at for this. Okay, so we're going a little bit deeper than what we've done in weeks 2 through 7. Okay, so that's the second part. The third part, are there any parts of the Christian Bible canon that has not received adequate coverage in Bartholomew and Goheen's 6-act drama of Scripture? If so, then identify them and explain what has happened by leaving them out. So this is essentially looking at weaknesses within the Bartholomew and Goheen text. What is it that they needed to include that wasn't included? Okay. And so again, this is going to go back to the critique, to the assessment, and question number 2, or section number 2. Okay, and then number 4, has Christopher Wright covered all of the content of Bartholomew and Goheen's 6-act approach? Which of the 6-act did Wright not cover adequately in your opinion? Okay, so again, this is going to go back to question number 2 and your assessment of Christopher Wright's writing. Okay, so what you'll need to do for this is you'll need to have different section headings. Do not include the questions as they are written here, just address them. Do the very best you can to summarize what you've already summarized, include footnotes, and that should be good. And I think you should easily be able to do that within the 3,000 to 3,500 word length. It'll take a little bit of effort and it'll take a little bit of time, but I firmly believe that you can do this. And so with that being said, some have already asked if I would look at your work ahead of time before you turn it in. The answer to that is no. I am happy to look at your summative project once it's turned in. I do believe in you. I am praying for you, and I hope that this particular section of our announcements is helpful to you. As stated before, take a look at everything that we've done in our class. And again, the very first part, That's from week 1. Number 2 is from weeks 2 through 7. And then weeks 3 and 4 are essentially based on what you wrote in section 2. Also, my hope is to return your week 7 ALA number 2 either today or tomorrow. It just depends on what's happening, but I want to make sure that I give you some good feedback on that. So please do know that I believe in you and I'm praying for you, and I am so incredibly proud of you. This is not an easy class to do. There's a lot of reading involved, and incidentally, if you want to take a look at the first, I would say, 3 weeks of announcements, just review them. That will help with Arabian style, with summarizing, with all different kinds of stuff. So I'm going to stop now, or I'm going to really start rambling, but I'm really proud of you, and I believe in you, and it's been so good to work with you over these past several weeks. And I believe in you. You can finish strong, and you've got this.